I'm sorry. Ches.
Yes.
Okay.
Ches, 118. Masechta Shabbos 118. So we had a machlokas between the Chachamim that said on Shabbos you're supposed to have 3 meals, and Rav Chidka that says you have to have 5 meals. So the Gemara quotes our Mishnah that if Friday night there's a fire, matzilin mazon shalosh sudos, you're allowed to save 3 sudos. Now, my lav delo achal. We're talking about a case we hadn't eaten this Friday night meal yet, and yet you only save 3 meals. So that seems to be a kasha on Rav Chidko, says you eat 4 meals. Or it says lo de achal. We're talking about that the fire broke out after he had the Friday night meal. So according to Rav Chidka, you eat 1 meal at night and 3 meals during the day. So the Mozon Shalosh Sudas fits Rav Chidka. So our Mishnah says Shachros Matzil Mozon Shtei Sudos. There's a fire in the morning, you save 2 meals, not my lav de lo yochal. Gemara understands that we're talking about a case where the fire broke out before breakfast, and it says you only save 2 sudos, which again, a kasha on Rav Chidka. Or says lo da'achal. He had eaten shachris already. So according to Rav Chidka, you have 2 more meals. Then the Gemara brings b'mincha matzil mazon sudachas. If there's a fire mincha time, you save 1 meal. Now my lav deloy achal. So according to Rav Chidka, it should be 2 meals. Gemara says lo da'achal. He already ate mincha, so he has 1 more meal. According to Rav Chidka. Freit the Gemara v'amid tani seifa, but the seifa says Rabbi Yosi oimer lo oila matzilin mazon shalosh sudas. He argues with Tanna Kama that the Tanna Kama said depending on when you find it, it's either 3, 2, or 1. And Rabbi Yosi says you always save 3. Well, that's a kasha on Rav Chidka. Why wouldn't Rabbi Yosi say you always save 4? Right? Michlal the Tanna Kama shalosh svirale. Our Mishnah is clearly not Rav Chidka. Okay, says the Gemara Vadit now, but we have another Mishnah. So there's various rules for giving charity. Lo yito minat tamchui. Tamchui was the charitable organization that took care of people's daily needs. So if an ani showed up in town, he would go to the tamchui and they would give him 2 meals for that day. Now, if you had food to give for 2 meals, you were not allowed to go to get money from the tamchui. If you took money from the tamchui, you would be considered a gazla. Now, Mozon Arba Esrei Lo Yitom and Akupa. The Kupa was a different organization that would take care of a person's weekly needs. So if you had enough food for or money to buy 14 meals, you were not allowed to get anything from the Kupa. Now, the Gemara wants to know money. Who is the author of that Mishnah? Lo Rabbanan v'lo Rav Chidka. It's neither of our Tanoim. Because if you have 6 times 2, 6 days a week times 2 meals a day, it's 12. And then on Shabbos, according to Rabbanan, there's 3. We should have 15. Rav Chidka Shisrei Avin should have 16 because 6 times 2 is 12 plus the 4 meals on Shabbos is 16. So La'olam says the Gemara Rabbanan that the Mishnah over there is Rabbanan. The Amri Lei, my de bois lemecha bafuke shabta, achle b'shabta. That meal that you're going to eat, Motzei Shabbos, eat it on Shabbos. So they get away, instead of giving 3 meals on Shabbos, they only give 2 meals on Shabbos. So Lemer Rabbanani v'lo Rav Chidka. If you look at Rav Chidka, the Amri Lei, my de bois lemecha b'malei shabta, what you're supposed to eat Erev Shabbos, in the morning, achle le'urta, eat it at night. So, because Thursday night he had one meal, and they were supposed to have the other meal Friday morning. So they tell him, no, push it off until Saturday night. So that way you're able to have 4 meals on Shabbos. But then he's going to be V'kula Yoim at the Malay Shabbat, but Tanisa Musfinale. That guy's going to fast the whole day Friday. So that doesn't make any sense. Elohamani Rabbi Kiva, he'd Omar Aseh Shabbat Chachol, V'al Titztarch Lebrios. Rabbi Kiva says, rather than collect charity, you should have only 2 meals on Shabbos. It's better to have 2 meals on Shabbos than to go get money from the charity. So that's why that Mishnah is Rabbi Kiva, who says only 14 meals because only 2 meals on Shabbos. Freak the Gemara. V'hadisna. What about the other Mishnah? Ein poichsin la'ani ha'over mimakom la'makom mikikar bepundin ma'ar b'soin b'sela. You have to give him bread, a certain amount of bread. A pundian is 48. There are 48 pundians to a sela, and it's a certain amount of bread that buys arba saw of flour for 1 sela. And that's enough for 2 meals, morning and night. And lawn, if he sleeps overnight in that city, noisin lo parnasos lina. You give him what he needs at night, which is also he gets a bed and a pillow, besides the food. And here comes the kicker. V'im Shabbos, noisin lo mozon shalosh sudas. So it's not like Rabbi Akiva that says only 2. Lema Rabbanani, and again, it's also seems to be a raya like the Rabbanan, not Rav Chidka, who said that there's 3 meals on Shabbos, not 4. So the Gemara says, no, you could learn that it's Rav Chidka. The guy had a meal that he traveled with as a reserve meal. And that we're giving you 3 meals, and eat the reserve meal for your 4th meal. So then he's not going to have any reserve meal. So when he leaves the city, he's not going to have any reserve. Where says the Malvina le suda bade. No, but when he leaves, you make sure that he has an extra suda to go as well as a substitute. Okay, my parnosas lina. What did the Gemara mean when it says parnosas lina? Amar of Papa, puria, a bed, ubesadya, and a pillow. So besides the food, you have to give him the ability to sleep. Ton Rabbanon, ka'arois she'achal behen arvis. If on Shabbos, whatever plates you used Friday night, madichin lechol banshach, you can wash them in order to have plates in the morning. Shachris, the plates that you use in the morning, madichin lechol ban b'tzarayim, you can wash them for use in the afternoon. And if you eat b'tzarayim, madichin lechol ban b'mincha, you can wash the dishes so that you'd have dishes for mincha. But what's going on here?
Ernie, switch your volume on your phone off. Thanks.
So, mina mincha ve'elech shuvenu mediach. If you eat from later than mincha, you can't wash the dishes because it's an extra tircha. It's a tircha that you're working for, basically dishes that you're going to use after Shabbos. You can't be meichen from Shabbos l'chol. Aval kosos v'kitnios utzluchios, but glasses that you drink from, mediach volech kol hayom kulo, you can wash at any time. Lefi shein kevel l'shtia. You could drink even after mincha. You can drink a whole day. So therefore, you have to be prepared with. It's not considered that you're for sure meichen for Chol because you could be using it for Shabbos as well.
No?
I turned my phone off. I don't know why it's still dinging here.
Maybe it's the messages.
If you put the volume down, it'll stop dinging. You must be very important, really. It's okay. As long as it's not a sick patient, it's fine.
No, I'm not on call today. Here. Okay. Bet Pazir Meshub ben Levi Mishum Bar Kapora. Kolomakayim Sholosh Suudos B'Shabbos Nitzel Misholosh Peronios. Whoever makes sure that he eats 3 meals on Shabbos, he's saved from 3 bad things. Number 1, Mechevelo Shel Mashiach. In the generation when Mashiach comes, there's going to be a lot of Yisurim. That's called Chevle Shel Mashiach. So you're going to avoid that. And Medina Shel Gehenim, you'll avoid the judgment of Gehenim, which is usually the 12 months after the Patir of a person, where he has Yisurim in Gehenim so before he goes to Gan Eden. And also, again, before the final din, there's going to be a war of Gog u'Magog, and he's going to avoid that. Now, where do we see this? Remember, we mentioned that the pasuk there by the mon, it says yom 3 times. Hayom, hayom, hayom. From there, we learn that you eat 3 meals. So it says, and when Mashiach comes, there's Chevele Mashiach. So Yom Yom. So there's a connection. Medina shall get him Ksivacha Yom. Ksivasam Yom Evra Hayom Ahu. Evra from the lotion of anger and fear. That refers to Gehenna. On the day that Gog comes, that's the haftorah that we lay on Shabbos of Sukkot. So it says there Yom as well. So that's that you're saved from these dinim by having 3 meals on Shabbos. Rav Yechim Mishum Rav Yosi. Whoever fulfills Oinik Shabbos, we'll see what that is. He will get a nachla without any limits. Shene'amar, az titaneg al Hashem, v'hirkavticha b'mosei aretz, v'achalticha, nachlas Yaakov avicha. You can have a nachla like Yaakov, which is b'li mitzarim. Because this pasuk follows, there's a pasuk in Yeshaya which says, v'karasa l'Shabbos oneg. We lay this haftorah on Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. It's the last parak in Sefer Yeshayahu. So where do you see that you get a nachla b'li mitzarim without limits? Lo kavram shekosav bo klumi salech ba'aretz la'arkal rachba. Avram Avinu was told, listen, I'm going to give you Eretz Yisrael. Walk the length and the breadth of Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to give you this. But Eretz Yisrael has gvulim. V'lo ki yitzchak shekosav bo kilecha ulazaracha eitein es kol aretzos ha'el. I will give you all these lands, but these lands also have a shear. Now, these lands are no other. But Elabakiyako shekosav bo ufaradsta yama v'kedma v'tzafona v'negba. So that's everywhere. It's a nachla that doesn't have any borders or limits. So if by fulfilling shalosh sudos, you will get a nachla like Yaakov Avinu. Rav Nachman Yitzchak Amar Nitzel Mishibud Golios. You will be saved from the various shibudei Golios being taken in exile. Your enemies are going to chase you, and you'll avoid all of that. Amri Amarav. Kol ha'ma'anig es Shabbos, whoever fulfills Oneg Shabbos, Noshin lo mishalos libenu. Your heart's desire will be given to you. Shneimar v'yisadegal Hashem. If you have pleasure in Hashem, yitei lecha mishalos libecha. Hashem will give you whatever your heart desires. And what is this oneg? Oneg zeni odeh ma'u. Kishu omer v'karasa l'Shabbos oneg aviyom is oneg Shabbos. So bameh me'ango. So how do you fulfill oneg Shabbos? So Rav Yehuda Breder of Shmuel Bar Shilas Mishrader Rav Amar b'tav shilshil with a chulent, with a special dish made for Shabbos. But here, the times of Chazal, it was the tav shilshil trade in beets, the dogim in fish, the rosh shumin made with garlic. It was a special dish that they ate. That was their chulent. Rav Chia Bar Ashi Amar Rav afilu davar muat. Even if it's something small, but lichvod Shabbos aso, you made it specifically for Shabbos, areze oneg. Mahi Amrav Papa Kasa Daharsna. It was some kind of like fish, fried fish, the innards and fried fish with flour, like a batter.
Yeah, gefilte fish in our days.
Well, Rashi says dagim ktanim etuganim, small fish that are fried, b'shemen kirvein in the oil of their guts, uvekemach and with flour. So it sounds like some kind of breaded fish thing.
Spelt.
Who's?
Spelt? Those little tiny fish, spelt?
You mean smelt?
Smelt.
Yeah, smelt.
Well, I think sardines would be considered
With
small.
flour? Who eats sardines with flour?
I don't. But with smelt, they
smelt, you do put it
smelt?
with flour. Mm-hmm.
Is that a kosher fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Milky Way used to serve it. I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to serve that.
Okay, I'm not sure I've ever had that.
So listen, but for us, it would be gefilte fish, especially for Shabbos.
Yeah. Well, I would say for us, it's chulent. That we don't eat chulent. For example, tonight I had gefilte fish.
I don't have gefilte fish during the week, so.
I eat gefilte fish all the time.
Okay.
It's so.
Yeah.
So, but chulent is something that you mamish just eat on Shabbos.
Unless you go to a Shon Zocher and they have it there on Friday.
The Musa Haskell, if you want to get smart like Ern, you got to eat a lot of gefilte fish.
What was that?
I said, if you want to get smart like Ern, you got to eat a lot of gefilte fish.
I eat gefilte. I have 2 pieces of gefilte fish with horseradish and some pickles. It's a wonderful dinner. It's very light. It's filling, and it's I try to eat a fish dish once a day. Absolutely.
What?
Huh?
Once a day. Once a day. Wow.
Yeah, omega-3. You want to have omega-3. Salmon is better. Salmon is better because it has more omega-3 fatty acids. It's a specific kind of fatty acid that's very good for us. Sardines have a lot of omega-3. Oh, yeah. It's very easy. Yeah. Amar Chia Barava, Amar Rav Yochanan. Kol HaMishamer Shabbos Kilchaso. Whoever keeps Shabbos according to its halachas, afilu oived avodah zarah kedor enosh mochlin lo. Even like the generation of Enosh, where it was rampant with avodah zarah, you would be forgiven. Shene'amar ashrei enosh yasezos mechalalo. Al tikra mechalalo ela mochlo like dor enosh. So there's a huge schar for keeping Shabbos kilchaso. Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, ilmolei shamru Yisrael Shabbos Rishona. That first Shabbos, when they were told, to not pick the mun when it fell, but they went out and they picked the mun, even that first Shabbos, because it says, "Vahi bayom hashvi yatsu min ha'amul kol v'lo matzu." They didn't listen. But if the Klal Yisrael would have listened that first Shabbos, and nobody would have gone on to pick, we would never have had any enemies be able to overcome us. What comes right after? Vayavo Amalek. Now, Amalek was defeated, but the fact that Amalek attacked us, we were on a high. We had just come out of Mitzrayim. The whole world had heard about the Nisim, about the Makkahs, and about this Kriyas Yamsuf, and nobody would have. But they cooled us off. That's why it says Vayikar. They cooled off the enthusiasm that Klal Yisrael had engendered around the world, and they said, "Oh, they can be attacked." And once they attacked, and we've been attacked mercilessly ever since. In fact, if Klal Yisrael keeps 2 Shabbosim the way they're supposed to, miyad nigolim, they will have a geula right away. Shneimar, Kor Amar Hashem l'sarisim asher yishmeru es Shabsoi. Right? And Shabsoi is plural. Uksiv Basrei Vav Yosim al Kodesh, and I will bring them to my mountain. Amar Rav Yosi, Yehi Chalki Ma'ochlei Sholosh Suudas b'Shabbos. Let my lot be with those who eat 3 meals on Shabbos. Also says Rabbi Yosi, Yehi Chalki Megomer Hal b'Chol Yom. Let my lot be with those that say Hallel every day. What do you mean? We say Hallel 18 times a year. Chanukah, Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, we don't say every day. Vuz?
Rosh Chodesh also, right?
No, but Rosh Chodesh, Goimrim is a Hallel. Rosh Chodesh, we don't say Hallel. It's only a minhag that we say Hallel.
Oh.
In fact, the Sfardim don't even say it with a bracha. We say it with a bracha, but it's only Yud Ches Yomim Goimrim is a Hallel. It's 8 days of Sukkot, right? 7 plus 1, because Shmini Atzeres. 8 days of Sukkot, 1 day of Shavuos, 1 day of Pesach, and 8 days of Chanukah. Yud Ches Yomim Goimim Hallel, and no other. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? How could Rabbi Yossi praise that? So Ki Kamin Psuki de Zimra. He meant Psuki de Zimra, that every day. That's also we say Hallelujah Hashem in Hashemayim, Hallelujah B'Kodsho. These Hallelujahs is also a praiseworthy thing that we praise Hashem before we daven to Him. Let my lot be with those who daven with the Netzach Hama. It's a special schus to daven early. It's a mitzvah to daven with the Netz. I should see you with the sun. The Shulchan Aruch brings that it's royal to daven tefillah shachas in Netzach Hama, like Rabbi Yosef. Let my lot be with those who die of intestinal illness. You find a lot, for example, Rabbeinu HaKadosh died of intestinal illness. So I'm saying it's because Rashi says there's Yisurim, and during your lifetime, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sort of gives you your punishments for anything that, therefore, when you go to Olam Haba, it's all good. The Yisurim that you get in this world takes care of you for the next world. That let my lot be with those that die performing a mitzvah. It's not necessarily that you kashluche mitzvah eino nizokin. So somehow it happens not in the derech of the mitzvah. It was like some kind of side thing that happens while they were performing a mitzvah. Let my lot be with those that accept the Shabbos early in Tver, because Tver was in a valley, and the sun would go down, but it really was not time for Shabbos yet. Yet they would start keeping Shabbos even then. And in Sipori, which was on a mountain, they would also keep Shabbos, even though it was over, they would keep it much longer at the end of Shabbos. So they were very careful with keeping Shabbos in and keeping Shabbos out. He wants to get schar like that. There were people like ushers who would gather the students to have them sit down in the yeshiva. And then there were those who would stand them up to eat lunch. So he would rather be those that seat them to learn. I should be those that collect money for tzedakah, not that give it out. Because when you give it out, it's like being on a scholarship committee. You got to be very sensitive. You got to it's very hard you got to investigate, does this person really deserve tzedakah or not? So Rabbi Yossi said, better be somebody who just collects the money rather than be the one who gives it out. Let my lot be with somebody, people that are suspicious of him, but he's really innocent. But again, it gives him kapora because he's embarrassed by it, and this is a kapora for avonos. He says, it happened to me. A few cases by Rav Papa. There was a case where a woman came in, left a dead child on his bed, and he wanted, it was like an alilas dam. They wanted to accuse him of murder. In fact, he had to flee. So it's probably referring to these issues. On Rabbi Yossi, Chamish be'ilos bo'alti. I had relations with my wife 5 times. V'notati chamisha rozim Yisrael, and I planted 5 cedars in the Jewish people. Uman inu, who were they? Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chalafta Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Avtilas Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Menachem Rabbi Yossi. And we have many times in Shas, Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Yossi. What about Vardimas? There was another son of Rabbi Yossi. Hainu Vardimas, Hainu Menachem. It's the same person as Menachem. Amai Karele Vardimas, Shapon Adamim Leveret. His face was rosy in color. L'meimed Rabbi Yossi, mitzvah Soda Lokim. I understand. He only had relations with his wife 5 times. There's a mitzvah of Ona. You have to provide relations to your wife whenever she wants it. Ela Ema. You have to amend what the Gemara says, Chamesh be'ilos bo'alti v'shonisi. That in one of the other places in Shas, it gives us a recipe of how to have a male child. You have to have relations and then repeat it right away. You have to do it twice. So he says there were 5 times where I was successful at doing that, and each time I had a male. By the way, I just want to give a little biography of Rav Yossi here. Rav Yossi is ben Chalafta, Migdolei Atanoim. He lived right in the generation, right before Rabbi Yehuda Nasi codified the Mishnah. His father was Abba Chalafta. He was also one of the Gedolei Ador. And his family went all the way back to Yonadav ben Rachav. Rabbi Yossi had Talmud Muvik l'Rabbi Kiva, hu v'chaverav. Talmidei Rabbi Kiva acherim. Remember, Rabbi Kiva had 24,000 Talmidim. They all died between Pesach and Atzeres. So Rabbi Kiva went to the Negev, and he gave smicha to 5 Tanoim. And these are them. It's Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And they're the main Tanoim in Torah Sheba'al Peh. If you think about it. Every Mishnah in Masechta Shabbos is Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon. We say Stam Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. And then Rabbi Yossi, we say Nimuko Imo. So, and this was the link we'll see between Rabbi Kiva, who's the real Yesod of Torah Sheba'al Peh, to Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Because Rabbi Meir was the Talmud, was the Rebbe of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. And so was Rabbi Yossi. B'chol derech chavai Rabbi Yossi matun v'nimnam megisha gidol. The halacha is like him always, b'chol makom. against any one of his Chaverav, where it says, Rabbi Yosi Nimuko Imo. He has the logic behind him. And therefore the halacha is always like him. He was an Anav, he was a Kadosh. Eliyahu Navi would appear to him every day. And there are many discussions between him and Eliyahu Navi throughout the Shas. The Baraisa called Seder Olam, which is like a historical week, and the Gemara many times will mention the Seder Olam, kach v'kach v'kach. Rabbi Yossi was the author of that. He lived in Sipori in the Galil. He was a tanner. And mainly Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was his main Talmud too. But his 5 children, the ones that the Gemara mentions, were his main Talmidim. The main ones was Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi. So Rabbi Yossi is a major figure in Shas. Back to the Gemara. I never called my wife, or my ox, my ox. I called my wife my house, because she's the ikar of the house. And I called my ox my field, because without my ox, I can't have a field. That's why Eliyahu Kitov called his sefer about halachas, about a man and his wife and his family, Ishu Beso. Ishu Beso, referring to a man and his wife. He never looked at his genitalia. He was at Sanua. Afraid the Gemara in Ein, it's not so. Amar Leila Rebbe. The students of Rebbe said to Rebbe, "My time Akarlacha Rabbeinu Hakadosh." Why was Rebbe called Rabbeinu Hakadosh? Amar Lehud Miyamal Nistakati B'Mila Shali. Rebbe said he never looked at his Mila. So if that's the criteria to be called Kadosh, so why wasn't Rabbi Yossi called Rabbi Yossi HaKadosh? So the Gemara answers, "Berebbe milsach risi avebei." It wasn't just the only act of Chasidus that Rebbe did. Yes, he didn't look at his meal his whole life, but also shlohichnis yodo tachas avneito. He never dropped his hands below his belt. His hands were always found above his belt because he didn't touch his nether regions. They say, so first of all, I remember by the hesped of the Steipler. The Steipler is the father of Chaim Kanievsky. And he passed away in the early 80s, the Kehilas Yaakov. So they said something like that in his hesped as well, that he was known that his hands had never dropped below his waist. And then there were people, stories are told about certain tzaddikim, that when they go to the Chevra Kadisha and they try to straighten their limbs to wash them, there were certain tzaddikim that they couldn't straighten out the person's arms so that it would drop below his waist, because they were always in a position and they were like frozen that way. So it's just interesting that the Gemara cites this as an aspect of the Midas Chasidus that Rebbe had. And we've heard it about people in our generation too. That the beams of my ceiling never saw the inside hem of my cloak. Because if a person takes off his cloak like this and he takes it off and he wasn't wearing any clothes underneath him, so when you invert your cloak, the hems of the cloak are seen by the beams of your house. But he would get under the covers first and then take off his cloak. So he was always a tzanua. I didn't sort of contradict my friends. Yodani ba'atzmi she'eni kohen. I know that I'm not a kohen, but if my friends told me go up to duchen, ani ola, because I listen to my friends. Tosfos goes into, is there any aveira? It's not sure what the kind of isser there is there, which is why he went up there. Meaning, if I said something negative about a person, see, Rabbi Yossi held that it was not considered lashon hara if you said something negative about a person to somebody else, if you would say something negative about that person in front of his face. Now, we don't paskin that way. We say it is lashon hara. But Rabbi Yossi was consistent. He never said, "Oh, I didn't say that." He would admit that he said that, because he would always say something. First of all, he would always say something good about a person. But if he said something bad of a person, he was sincere about it. And he held that you were allowed to say something like that over to somebody if you would say about it to the person himself as well. That was a shita in lashon hara, but Allah is not like him. Like Rashi says, "Kol milsa decham vape mara less b'mishum lishnabisha." Weiter. Amrav Nachman. Teisi li de kayante shalashurus b'Shabbos. I will get reward because I was makayim shalashurus on Shabbos. Amrav de teisi li de kayim de iyun tefillah. I'm going to get reward because I understood the meaning of the tefillahs that I said. I will get reward that I did not walk with a gola cup, dalad amis. I always had a yarmulke on when I walked, at least dalad amis. This is one of the sources for wearing a yarmulke. Right? The Shulchan Aruch brings, Lo yelech adam afilu arba ames begilui arosh, v'hu minag roi, shalamdu migdolei hachachamim. V'av shayu min poskim like the Marshal and the Gra, sha'amru she'enu ela minag chasidus v'hidur bilvad. It's only chasidus, a minag, and a hidur. For a nagel kol Yisrael lahakbid b'kisei arosh b'vdei kama ta'amim. Amrav Sheshes Tesili the Kianti mitzvahs tefillin. It's not. That means he didn't walk arba amis below tefillin. Amrav Nachman Tesili the Kianti mitzvahs tzitzis. That he never walked dalad amis without tzitzis. Amrav Rav Yosef read Rav Avucha b'may zor tfei. What halacha was your father careful about? Amrav le b'tzitzis. Yom echad avekosalik b'dar. He was on a ladder. Ifsik leichuta, one of his tzitzis strings broke. He didn't come down the ladder until he made sure to fix the tzitzis while he was up there. One Rabbiya, Tesili, I'm going to get reward. The kichazina tzurvim rabbanon. When I see a Talmud Chacham in yeshiva, the Shalim Masechta, who finished the Masechta, so Abaya Avidna Yuma Tovel Rabbanon. I would make a party and I would invite everybody. I would make a Yontav L'Chachamim. This is our minag to make a siyum when you finish the Masechta based on this.
Right.
And it's considered a Sudas Mitzvah, says the Shulchan Aruch. And this is, of course, during the 9 days. People will make a siyum because of that. So that because it's considered a Sudas Mitzvah, you can eat meat at that event.
Right.
So is Peter Faber, was